Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to Give and Grow. My name is Ryan. I'm here with a very special guest this week. Eric is not going to be here. He is at the beach with his family. Hope he's having a good time over there. So I thought it would be a good time to have my beautiful wife, Lydia, to go over a very, very interesting topic that I think that a lot of people that might watch this channel or are just involved with, and that is marriage and finances. You're going to hear the perspective of us being married, talk about our finances, our journey, and things that we had to go through and learn and grow from. It's because it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And we'll go over all of our like backgrounds here in a second. But before we get into that, if I can please ask you, subscribe to the channel, like the video, at least this one, because she's on here. You see me and Eric every week. You're probably sick of me talking about living below your means and sacrificing for your future and quit spending your money on dumb things. You're probably sick of hearing that, but she has a lot of really great things to say, and probably a lot of things that she's annoyed with me at regarding our finances. So please like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get updates on when we upload. We're trying to upload at least one video a week with an assortment of like short form content. If you've been enjoying that, please be sure to drop a comment in the comments. Drop any comment for all I care. You can make fun of me. I don't really, well, I care, but you can say whatever you want. But yeah, with that being said, we're gonna start off by going over something that we learned this week. And that is the used car market, I've found, has dropped significantly since 2021 through like 2023. I know for a while, used cars were very, very expensive. Last year, actually, we had to fix our car. It's her Toyota Camry.
Yeah, my 2004 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, the car turns 20 years old this week. Or sorry, this year, not this week.
It's going strong. I'm pretty proud of it. I would like a new car, but this one it's fine, and that's all that matters, really.
See, she really wants a new car. What kind of car do you want?
I want another Toyota. Those cars I don't have time for my car to break down. I don't have time for it. So a Toyota is not going to break down. It's going to live forever. That's all I need.
This is a hot take, but American-made cars are trash. Yeah. Honda, Toyota, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Now, like, having jobs on like American soil for those companies is very good, but they're no Toyota. They're no Honda. Let's get real. But yeah, that's what we learned this week. And it's funny because, you work in the repo industry.
I do.
And something that I didn't learn this week, but something that I've been thinking about recently is the fact that during these times of like massive layoffs and like, people not being able to find work, people taking out loans and maximizing credit cards. In this environment, your company is actually doing very, very well.
Yeah, repo is booming. There's a lot of work in the repossession industry. I don't know what else to say. It really is. It's crazy.
Right. You're taking advantage of people not paying their loans.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's taking advantage.
Sorry. Not taking advantage. You have a business based off of people not paying their loans.
Repossession needs to happen. If it didn't happen, we would all have a much more difficult time getting loans that we need for things. So I wouldn't call it taking advantage. I think it's actually a very important industry. But I might be biased because I work in it. So I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that you are employed.
Me too.
I'm glad I'm employed. You know what? If you're glad you're employed, let us know down in the comments below. Because, I'm on LinkedIn all the time, and I know the struggle for a lot of people that do not have work. Yeah. I sympathize with y'all, and I hope and pray that y'all can be able to find jobs soon So that's going to be it for something that we learned this week. And now we're just going to go into our topic, which is marriage and finances. So to preface, I'm 31. She's 28. She's turning 29 this month. So happy early birthday.
Thanks.
So that's going to be a fun time. We have no debt at all. We have zero debt. We also have no children. We have a savings / investing rate of about 50% right now, which, is pretty high. And, I'm very proud of that. So, you're going to be getting the information that we're about to share with y'all kind of like from like our perspective. And I understand that the ways that like we might see things or the methods that we use is not going to work for like everybody. You might have debt, you might have kids, you might be in a very, very different situation. But overall, I think that the things that like we have to like talk about can really be used to kind of like create some introspection.
Mm-hmm.
To give a background, you kind of know my background pretty much. I've been roughly involved with like trying to keep up with staying out of debt, budgeting, stuff like that since I was like 18. But how about you? When did you first start really trying to be good with your money, or like being, I don't know, aware of your finances?
So I have kind of a typical upbringing where when I became a young adult, I wasn't very good with my money. I did save money, mm-hmm. but once I bought a car, all my savings, all of that kind of went down the drain. So like I bought my first car and it was great. But from that point on, it was like, I kind of had the normal early adult struggle. I moved out from my parents' house and that was not a good move for me, but I did it and I struggled a little bit. And around that time, you and I were dating, and this is kind of a lame answer, but you helped me understand a lot about not only saving my money, but making it be a thing that works towards your future, mm-hmm. and towards bigger goals. I never thought of money that way. So you kind of opened my eyes to that. And sometimes it was a little annoying, but overall it has been good. So I don't know. I think my story is kind of typical, but I feel very, very lucky that that you kind of helped me see a better way to do things. And, that started back when we were dating. So that wasn't something that, you just flipped the light switch when we got married. That started, way back then when we got together. So.
Well, that definitely wasn't one of your green flags, because you're more like, I just like this idiot. So, that's.
Jeez.
That's what it is,
Well, I knew you were smart, and I was like, he knows what he's talking about. When you talk about things that you're knowledgeable about, you really sell it, and it makes sense. And I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna do it your way. That sounds correct.
Well, you're gonna be rich one day, so.
Okay.
If I can give you anything of value.
Okay, but I'm rich now, in a lot of ways already.
That's right. I know that, I've been there with you during those times when you felt like things were kind of questionable. You're kind of like in the unknown. Whenever we first got married, I made sure that we were on a budget. We actually didn't combine our finances for a long time, actually. I think for the first like maybe year and a half, we didn't combine our finances.
I think we always intended on it, and I think that we just got really busy with life stuff, and we didn't take the steps to just make it happen. Can we talk about that for a second? Because I just want to put it out there. Maybe you've heard it from him already, but life becomes so much easier when your finances are combined. Like, I don't know. I feel like I hear people talk about how, they have a system and they have it separate and whatever. And like, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong, but our lives got so much easier when we combined our finances.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It took out so much of the headache, but it does have a lot to do with trust and committing to the budget that you both agree to and making decisions together as a team. It made things so much better. So maybe you've already talked about that, but like, I just want to put it out there. From my perspective, it was great. So
I haven't mentioned it yet. I do want to preface, everything she says is true, but I think that when you go into a marriage, and this might be very, very controversial, talking about like, oh, well, I make my money, she makes her money. And, a lot of people have their system where they have, their own separate accounts, but they have a joint account, which then they contribute to for all of the expenses. Whatever works for you is good. But, I'm definitely on her side. It's much easier. So. Well, yeah, oh, absolutely. well, it was my idea. So
I know.
So, to me, it was more of like an expression of that like love and trust. And I know a lot of people out there have probably gone through this and it didn't end up the same way that we have ours.
I think it's easy for us to talk about it because we know ourselves and we know our marriage. It's hard to take our situation and try to push it onto other people with different personalities, different goals in life. But for us, we made it a goal to have some give and take, where it wasn't just everything we do is what Ryan says we should do, or everything we do is the way I think we should do it. It really does have to be a team effort, and we both compromise a lot. We've been compromising on things ever since we got married. I mean, but that's part of like our marriage is we're very balanced because I am the one who kind of leads us into more fun and more experiences, more spontaneity and all those things. And you're the one that's more grounded in, we need to make sure we have this, and this done. We're going to save up money for this, that, and the other thing. Like, we do have those differences, but we kind of put them together, and that's why it works. There have been a lot of times that Ryan's way of doing things really did irritate me, and I didn't want to do it that way. But over time, I have seen why a lot of it was the right way to go. And then just like, I mean, I guess you can speak for yourself, but like, I think I have helped you to enjoy things more and not be so, stressed and just with as far as how we spend our money and save it and things like that. Like, I think I've helped you to open up and enjoy things. You've
given me a perspective to like enjoyment and, seeing the roses. Going back to how you and we have all of our finances combined. From my perspective, I'm not saying it's the right answer. It's the right answer for us, right? Like, it's something that like me and her, when we got married, we joined together, and the whole two become one thing. And even though we are separate people, we're like one in our marriage, and it's very, very old, old fashioned. Because I know that a lot of people are probably hearing this and they're like rolling their eyes and they're like, that's just so old fashioned and that's just not the way things are right now. But, I trust her. She trusts me. I love her and she loves me. I die for her and she died for me. And it's something where I feel like I'm just so blessed that we are together. And as a result, our finances have just been taken to a whole another level, because not only is it an expression of trust and love, but it's also from like a practical perspective, the optimization of your finances is just insane. Like, you're both putting your resources and your income towards the same things that, like what she said, you both agreed on and talked about, and we're like, okay, well, how much do we need for this? How much do we need to put towards saving for a house, for investing? Can we cut back on something? Even with our like raises that we get, our bonus checks that we get, we have discussions on what to do with those, because it's not her money, it's not my money, it's our money, and we both have equal rights to say what we should and shouldn't do with it. I do think that going through this with her and being able to steward this thing has been, it has been a challenge, because our income started off very, very low. Mm-hmm. And during those times when we weren't combined, even though we weren't combined and we were splitting stuff, it was more tedious that way, because, we were in the whole like, oh, well, I got this, just Venmo me, or, you take care of these things and I take care of these things.
It just adds a layer of complexity that doesn't need to exist.
Well, so it doesn't need to exist, but the thing is, though, is that like it's whatever you want it to be. Like if you and your partner or spouse or like whoever you do life with, if it fits y'all, then that's all that really matters.
We do not claim to know everything.
No.
And we also don't claim to be marriage experts by any means, but it has worked so well for us because we have to decide really what's important to both of us.
Right.
If you have separate bank accounts, it's like you're still just letting yourself do what you want to do in some ways. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be communicating as much about the bigger goals and the bigger things that you're trying to save up for, and you don't have the same visibility of what money you both have together. Like it just, I don't know, it's just different when we have everything combined, everything in one place. We have discussions about what's important to us, what we're saving up for, why our budget looks the way that it does. And we've made changes over the years too.
Yeah.
Kind of a big important thing is that we had a 5-year plan and it looks nothing like we thought it would.
Oh, no.
I mean, we made a 5-year plan after we got married, and we're so far away from that now, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But my point is, you make plans, you talk about what you want in life, the big things and the small things, and then you make your budget, you make things work. And then as things change in life, you adjust the budget, you adjust your expectations. Like you're a team. You do it as a team, and if you communicate well, it works.
I definitely change the budget every single month, and she's probably sick of it. I don't know. Like I think that what you said is so true. Like communication and transparency, because when you talked about how if you have 2 separate accounts and you both can't see into each other's, that's a level of, you're not like intentionally keeping it away, but you could be intentionally keeping it away from, from your spouse. It also just makes it to where everything is like open and there's no stones unturned. It
can be a big accountability tool. Like if and I'm sure I've done this before, if I go shopping and I'm telling him like, okay, I need a new outfit for this thing that's coming up, or I need to get new shoes or whatever. And we're expecting like, I might spend something like $50 or whatever. And then, Ryan checks his phone and he's like, this girl done spent $150. What happened? And then I get home and we talk about it and we figure it out. And, maybe I went crazy, and maybe I'm looking at the stuff and I'm like, maybe I should return that. I didn't plan for that. I don't need it. It's like, it's accountability. It's not that you don't trust each other. It's that you do, and you're making financial decisions together, whether it's me going shopping or you investing. And, it's just, we do everything together. We see everything that the other person's doing. And that's a good thing for our trust and our communication. And that's just it.
Your shopping is definitely my investing. All I want to do is invest. All I want to do is save.
I do tell Ryan all the time that being a woman costs a lot more than being a man.
That is something that I've learned. We've had to increase the grocery budget. She used to have her own line in the budget just for her cosmetics.
Yeah, and it's like I don't just buy makeup and clothes and shoes every month. Like that's not what it is, but there's always little things that come up that just, about maintenance and looking presentable in my office. Like you don't need to worry about that. And that's okay. That's great. But like I do. So and we factor that into the budget and it's not a surprise, Yeah.
And you came to me and you asked me like, listen, I got to have my own line because our grocery budget is getting killed. I need to spend money on these things like your lotion, your makeup, all those things. And at first I was like, well, maybe we can skip by, but it's all about compromise, man. It's all about compromise.
It is. And I don't know, we are different people, which means we do have some different things that are really important to us. We're very different about how we want to spend like our play money. Like he's going to spend it on stocks. I'm going to spend mine on like improving like my wardrobe and, I just ran out of this makeup product. I need to go get some more. I need, that's not the only thing I spend my money on. I've talked about it a lot, but I do spend my money on other things like books.
Right.
I love books. I would buy every book in the world if I could.
You'll have your own library one day, but besides,
man, I hope so.
But besides that, we are different people, but our goals and our values are aligned. And that's something that I think that is very, very important. I actually wanted to go into that, just for a little bit, kind of as like, not really like a cautionary tale, but kind of like advice that I would give to like younger people that might be thinking about getting married or even just like dating or, being with somebody for like a long period of time. Don't rush into things, man. I've known Lydia since 2014, so I would have known her for I've known her for 10 years since I want to say it was sometime in February. I think it was maybe like the week before Valentine's Day. So I've known her for that long. We started dating that same year, and we dated for about almost 4 years. Mm-hmm. And we've been married this year for 6 years. So the reason why I think it's so easy for us is because we knew what we were getting ourselves into when we got married. Like we spent all that time dating and figuring out who we were as people. And like you're not going to figure it out all the way. But I knew that, this woman loved me, and I knew that, I can trust her, and that's why it's so easy. I think that's something that like a lot of people do is they might rush into something, or they might be, I don't know if the word like oblivious to the kind of people that they get with, and they don't really see like red flags, or they don't even try to see what they want in people, in who they are now, but also in who they could potentially be. So they kind of like just have their blinders up, and then they might get together, get into marriage, and then they end up getting into this period where like this person is not who I thought that they were, and that really affects your finances a lot. I would say that it's probably one of the scariest things when you potentially find out who somebody actually really is.
When it's too late.
Yeah, when it's too late.
Yeah.
The culture kind of has like a safety net in like the prenup. I think that if you were to want to go into a long-term relationship with somebody, know who they are to the best that you can. Also know who you are, and have expectations of how things should be. And if the person that you've been with for a little while is starting to show signs that they're not really along the same, or that their values probably don't align with yours, they don't really have the same goals or something along the same goals, or even something like, your like religion, or something with like, I don't know, how you like treat family, or what, a big one, whether or not y'all want to have kids in the future. Like, these things are very, very big that you should be having conversations about way before you even tie the knot.
I do want to add on to what you said about knowing who the person is to the best that you can, and also knowing who you are. I do think that's true, but I will say, when we were dating, and we knew pretty quickly that we wanted to marry each other one day, like, it kind of was just very easy for us to know that, which is a huge blessing. But I was still very immature in a lot of ways. And, I don't think I can say that I really knew myself that well when we were in our dating phase. And I was pressuring Ryan to propose sooner than he should have. I did not take life as seriously as I should have. And Ryan helped me understand. I mean, getting engaged is a really big deal. And I just didn't have a realistic view of the world, of our future. And I was trying to just get the thing done. And that was wrong of me. And I had to learn from that. I don't think I really knew myself as well as I could have. But I also think that I had a lot of immaturity too that I had to grow from. And you were patient with me in that. Like, we still got married. It was fine. But, we had to kind of work through that. And I had to realize that some of the things that I expected were pretty unrealistic. And I also just had to be patient, So I agree with you, but I just wanted to add that, I'm a very different person now than I was when we were dating and approaching getting engaged. I had a lot of things to work on. So
it stands true, though, that you had a foundation that was something that aligned with my goals and values. Even now, I don't think that we've really changed a whole lot about the goals that we have. There's some big things that we've been talking about recently, but overall, the same core essence of goals, we pretty much have the same. So in light of those things that we're talking about, with understanding who you are, try to understand who they are, and not rush into these things, I want to go over some stats that basically validate these things that we're saying. So it says here from NerdWallet that 60% of Americans say that there are financial topics that they didn't discuss but wish that they had before getting married. Finances is a very big part of relationships and marriage, and they get way more complicated when you get married. Because in the event that when you bring the law into your marriage, which you have to, well, you don't have to, but if you wanted to legally get married, then you'll be signing the marriage license and you'll be legally bound by marriage, right? So then if you go into that and you don't really have conversations about what you want in life, or the goals that you want to have, or your values, it's gonna be very, very hard. And 60% saying this is pretty big. So the second one is the study from 2022 that says typically around 41% of divorced Gen Xers, along with 29% of divorced boomers, state that the reason for their marriage ending was due to financial disagreements. Wow. I know that the rate of divorce is for sure above 50%. I think just like across the board, not only is it financial, but a lot of marriages in general just end in divorce, over half. Yeah. So really, if you're married and you have a good marriage, for one, consider yourself blessed. It probably took a lot of work, and it probably is something that hopefully you went into it with the expectations that you have of each other. It's not all just feeling. Love is a commitment. Love is a choice in addition to the feeling. I love seeing older couples, and they're I've been with my spouse for 60 years.
I love the old couples that go to McDonald's every morning. Yeah. I want to be that.
Yeah, I want.
Except
McDonald's is Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Yes. 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 Cracker Barrel is our McDonald's.
Yes.
It's awesome seeing love mature in a way like that. And sometimes it might not be something where like they know everything up front. More times than not, I think it's better if you have as much information as you can before just jumping into something, because it's just going to make it easier when you're making decisions. But also too, you know, if you're seeing red flags, you have time to make the choice on whether or not the person you're with is the right one for you. So the last set of stats that I wanted to read are from Ramsey Solutions, and it's like a rapid fire one. So there's 4 of them. It says here, money is the number one issue married couples argue about. 86% of couples who got married in the last 5 years started out in debt, which I thought was interesting because we were a part of the 14 that did not, flex. Sorry. The third one is the higher a couple's debt burden, the more likely they are to argue about money. I thought that this one was interesting. Before you get married, you know, that stuff should be transparent. Like, you know, you should, well, that's my opinion. Like, for example, if I was like $100,000 in debt and she had 0, I think that that should be a piece of information that you should share. If money is the thing that people argue about the most, and if the majority of marriages end in divorce because of finances, that's something huge that you should be transparent with. Because you're either going to have somebody that is going to be like, oh yeah, ride or die, I got you, we're going to take care of that debt, we're going to take it down. Or they're going to be like, maybe I should go find somebody else. Like you never know, but it's good to have that transparency. The last one says, couples in healthy marriages are much more likely to talk about money dreams and make long-term money goals. You want to know why I think we have a healthy marriage according to this?
Why?
Because I talk about this stuff every day.
Every day? Every single day. And all the time.
I know you're sick of it. There's times where I'm like, you know, look at how much money we made from this interest payment. And you're like, what? I'm just trying to make some breakfast.
Sometimes you wake up talking about it and I'm like, it's like 7:00 in the morning and I can't listen to that right now.
The early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, but sometimes the early bird is just trying to wake up and like get ready for work. Like,
well, I've been waking up too early thinking about nothing and not being able to fall asleep. So I don't know what's going on with that. The more aligned you are, according to that last stat, like the more you're willing to share about things that you want to do together, because we might have different views or different ways of thinking on like entertainment or like having fun. But if it all comes from a foundation of like we can do the things we want if we have the money for it, and if we have the foundation and the setup for it, that's all that really is.
I can actually give you a good example that was pretty recent of us talking about, I guess, you know, the big dreams that we have. You know, something that we've been trying to figure out is what we want to do about buying a home, and what do we want that home to do for us? What do we want that home to be for us? You know, when you think about what a home is, everyone has different goals for it, right? Some people want like a really aesthetic, beautiful, fancy home filled with like beautiful things. That's great. Some people want like just a really comfortable place to raise their kids, and it's chaos and there's things everywhere, but it's okay. Having a home is going to mean something different to everyone, right? And everyone has different definitions and what's important to them in a home. We've been trying to figure out like what we want to do, when we want to buy a house, what kind of house we want to have, like all of that stuff.
Yeah, where?
And recently I had this thing kind of pressing on my heart about what I kind of envisioned our home being. And I got a little bit stressed out because, you know, the economy is not great. Things look kind of dark out there, and it's really easy to get discouraged about about finances right now. And I was getting a little stressed out because I realized, like, I really do want a home one day, and I could kind of envision what I want it to look like. But I felt kind of stressed out because I'm like, I might not ever get it. Like, that was something that, like, I was almost a little nervous to, like, talk with you about it. But I mean, that's silly. It's silly. And we talked about it, and I felt so much better after we talked about it. But just, you know, sharing about what you want in life, it makes a huge difference. And I'll say this too, even if we don't get what we want, it's okay. Like, it really is okay. And that's kind of going into a whole nother conversation. But, you know, that was like something that we discussed, and I felt so much better. And it's like, you just, you know, being married to someone and having your finances together, talking about your goals together, like, there really is a lot of, like, comfort in that. Like, I can share with him my fears and my desires about the future and how we spend our money. Like, I feel so comforted that I can talk to him about it. And you're not gonna, you know, get onto me like, you know, we're never going to be able to afford that. You need to think about retirement. Like, you don't do that to me. And that's, like, I'm grateful, because I don't know, finances, it can be really easy to argue about them. It can be really easy to not be on the same page as a married couple. But I don't know, just being able to talk about it and discuss it, and you see where I'm coming from with things, and I see where you're coming from, and we meet in the middle, and we figure it out. Like, it's a big blessing. It's great. Yeah.
For one, I'm going to get you the house. I promise you, I'm going to get you the house.
I appreciate it. If we don't get the house that I envision in my brain, I'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Right.
But yeah.
Someone defined marriage as someone. I don't know who it was, but someone defined marriage as basically you're doing stuff for each other without expecting things in return. When it comes to our finances, I'm not just investing and saving just because I want to have a lot of money. You know, I mentioned this before. You know, I do it for her. I do it for our future. I do it so I can trade that money that we'll be getting with the cash flow. Like, you know, all that's going to be great. The real treasure is going to be being able to have more time with you, being able to do things with each other, and being able to just have a great experience in life, and being able to do things for others as well. Like, you know, there's so many more goals out there that start with having a good foundation. That foundation is created through, you know, communication. Is created through trust and love and you know, knowledge, intelligence, and an understanding of each other. And I think that we definitely have that, and I'm very blessed. So that's our discussion on marriage and finance. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I'm very thankful to have her not only on the channel today, but just in general. You know, I'd be lost without my wife, and I believe that every single day. The amount of progress that we have in our finances, I wouldn't be able to do it without her. Just having that perspective that she provides is invaluable, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So thank you for being on this episode today.
Yeah, I was very glad to take this time to talk with you about things. And you know, you guys watch him every week, and you're very headstrong. But you have so much knowledge, and like I will tell you, like, it works. If we did finances the way I thought we should, we would be in a really bad spot. Like, Ryan knows what he's talking about. Like, he really does. I can attest to that 100%.
Well, I appreciate that. With that being said, we're going to go and end our time today with our financial question of the week. And I want to have a fun one today with you. In the comments below, please be sure to give your answer on this. And if you wanted to provide a question of the week for us to go over on the channel, be sure to leave that in the comments as well. We would love to to have that discussion from you on here. So yeah, leave them in the comments. But our financial question of the week is, would you rather have a $10,000 vacation to go wherever you want, or $10,000 to buy something that you've wanted for a very long time?
I would rather have the $10,000 vacation.
I knew it.
You probably knew I was going to say that.
I knew it.
I think about material things that amount to that much, and my initial reaction is that those things are going to break. They're going to lose value. They're not going to work as well as I thought it would, or whatever. Like, I don't know. I love traveling. I don't do it as much as I would like to. And that's just because of, like, I don't make it happen as much as I want. And even before we got married, I didn't make it happen. Like, that's totally on me. But I really like going to new places. I really like going and experiencing just like a different culture, a different just different cities, like meeting new people. And I don't know, I just that kind of lights me up inside in a way. And I would much rather have a $10,000 vacation than $10,000 of stuff, because to me, in my mind, the stuff is going to rust and it's going to break and it's going to tear and it's going to whatever. Like, I can't even think of anything that I would want. Like, I can buy a used car for $10,000. That's fine. But guess what? The car is going to break down. I have a car right now. It's fine. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the opposite end of that. I like vacations. Like don't get me wrong. If you want my like real answer, a $10,000 vacation isn't a big deal if I can cash flow it very, very easily. But let's say that, like, you know, I was in a situation where like $10,000 was like a lot of money that I probably wouldn't see for like a very long time. I would go with the gift. And I'm not going to give you like a cheesy answer that's like, oh, well, I'll just invest the $10,000, or, you know, I'll, now I would. But there's some things where if I had the money, I would buy it that I wouldn't buy if I wouldn't buy it with the money that I make.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So for example, you know, I really like music. And, you know, I play bass guitar, and I know that like a lot of like really decent bass guitars, and they don't cost like $10,000, but they're upwards of like $3,000 to $4,000. But then, you know, I want to buy like amps. I want to buy, equipment, you know, for music and stuff like that. There's also stuff like, you know, I can use a new computer. The things that I would buy, I think, would give me a lot of value. And even though they would like rust and go bad over time, to me, I think that the amount of time that I would get more enjoyment over a longer period of time than I would 1 week on a vacation. Now, I might have a lot of really good times on that $10,000 vacation.
Yeah.
But I can play my guitar every single day. I can play on my computer every single day. I mean, I might buy a used car, you know, I might buy gold. I might buy some Bitcoin. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be our financial question of the week. And we're just going to just end it here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, tell your friends about the channel. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how many married couples watch this, or even people that are like seriously dating, but hopefully this provides some value to you. If you have a question of the week that you would like us to talk about on the channel, please be sure to leave them in the comments below. But my name is Ryan. This is Lydia. This is Give and Grow, and we'll see y'all next time.